all three candidates were good. I look at the resumes over and over again, and it was a toss-up between two. And I'm looking out not my personal interest, but for the interest of the town. And I think the best interest for the town would be Mr. Andrews, because he'll bring a lot to the board and enhance John Sanguinet's position. And I think we're all looking for clarity and continuity in office, and I think that'll be great for the town of Wareham. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen.
Thank you. Well, I guess your question was, what did we look for? So when we looked at some 21 people, we looked for financial situations that they could, the tough financial market that we're in. So the financial experience was a big one. Capital planning, economic development, the legislative process, all those things that we looked at, and we got it down to these three, and the one man stood out in my eyes. And I'll look at it the same way that Mr. Cruz just looked at it, is it's not really how I feel, but is doing the best that we can to sit and decipher through these three. And looking through the background checks, one was good, one had some issues, and the other one needs a halo. I mean, it's a fantastic job these policemen did, but the financial experience that I saw was in Mr. Andrews. So whenever you're ready, Mr. Chairman, you let me know.
Well, I want to thank and congratulate the other members of the board, because this has been a particularly grueling process. There were 20 or so. Was it 21?
I think it was 21 we spoke with.
Applicants. And we, as a board, as Mr. Cronin and Mr. Cruz pointed out, looked at it from the perspective of exactly what we felt was in the best interest of the community, and not from the perspective of who would we necessarily prefer to work with personally, but who we thought had the skills that we desperately need to have in place. And certainly strong fiscal skills is paramount, and I think number one, organizational skills, personal discipline, an apolitical point of view, a person that can make change in a way that would be accepted, and a person, frankly, that could lead this or a future board instead of the other way around. And I think all of those things were characteristics that I saw in the last few candidates that we finalized, the three. My personal preference was Mr. Maresco. I thought the answers he gave us, his background check, as Mr. Cronin pointed out, I believe he's the halo man. The personal conversations that I had, to me, his experience as the Assistant Secretary of State, I thought he would bring a lot of credibility to the town of Wareham. He would bring some political stability to Wareham, and he would bring a perspective, as Mrs. Donahue pointed out, of being a selectman and understanding this side of the table, as well as the administrative function. He has a tremendous responsibility in his current function, and I think he would excel. However, this board needs a 4/5 vote by charter, or 75%. We need a supermajority, and it's my inclination that if I were to vote for Mr. Maresco or somebody else also, that we would fail to reach a supermajority, and that would be the absolute worst possible outcome for us as a community, as a board. We cannot delay this appointment any longer, and that's another perspective as far as doing what is in the best interest of the community. I think Mr. Andrews has the requisite skills. I had some concerns, frankly, about some of his background, and I won't get into them specifically. out of respect for council's advice to us, but there were a couple issues in his background that did trouble me, and I think the remedy for that is what Mr. Cronin had suggested to us at one point, which is a contract remedy. And if another incident of a similar nature should happen, then that performance contract triggers. I'm not so concerned with the financial problems that Lawrence is having. They were there long before he got there. They're going to be there long after he leaves. I think he was in as rough and tumble a political environment as Wareham is in. So with that said, my first choice is Mr. Maresco, but I will vote for Mr. Andrews out of respect for the board and also in an effort to reach our supermajority requirement. Do you have a motion?
Chairman, if I could just add on to that, I don't think you really need to be that concerned about a supermajority. That's not really the only reason you should vote for somebody. I think that Mr. Andrews has a lot of qualities, like you stated, and that would be the reason that you would go for him. But if you would let me finish, I would like to just say that Mr. Andrews is someone who's got those fiscal skills. He's got the background. He lived it. He taught it. He can work with it. I'll be just as happy to make it a unanimous decision of the board. So that was all I wanted to say, Mr.
Great.
Chairman.
Thank you for your advice. I know what I'm voting for and why. And so, Mr. Cronin, do you have a motion?
Yes, sir. If you don't mind, at this time, I would like to make a motion that the board start negotiations with Mr. Mark J. Andrews of Bradford, Mass. For the position of Town Administrator here in Wareham.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained? It's unanimous.